What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So with winter approaching, that means it is almost time for the adult colubrids to go down into brumation. And I figured I would give you guys a little bit of a preview of the 2026 breeding season with some of the colubrids that I am most excited about getting the chance to breed this coming year. So you guys know I absolutely love my colubrids. They're some of my absolute favorite snakes, particularly the Spilotes genus and the Pituophis genus. So I'm going to show you guys some of my favorite pairings I have coming up. I'm really excited about it, and I hope you guys are too. All right, starting off with a bang here with one of the colubrid projects I'm probably best known for, that being the northern Mexican pine snakes. This is my adult male right here. He has sired 3 clutches now for me, and the babies are just absolutely spectacular. I've been so excited with the results of these clutches, and hopefully this year will just be all the better. The female kind of keeps outdoing herself every year, so hopefully that means next year she'll have a really big, healthy clutch with a lot of beautiful babies. But as I've said over and over again on this channel, to me this is one of the best pet snakes in the entire world. Extremely naturally beautiful, not too large, and great demeanor as well. Never go off of food. They start from day one on frozen thawed fuzzy mice, so super easy, absolutely gorgeous, great personalities, really like everything you could want in a snake. One of the reasons why I love them so much is because they are such a great pet, and despite being someone who's been keeping for many years, I still get a lot of joy out of an animal like this. One of my favorite colubrid species, no doubt, and one that I really hope to have a good clutch of next year. So this is a project I'm really excited about, considering this is the first year I'll be able to try them. And this is my female flame line stillwater hypo bull snake. So as you can see, she's just absolutely gorgeous. That really vibrant red tail with all those violet highlights down there is really amazing. Just an incredible morph within bull snakes that is locale specific, and I'm really a big fan of them. Raise these guys up from babies, so it's always really cool to see a project like that kind of come full circle to where you got them when they were really small, raise them all the way up, and obviously they'll continue to grow. This is very much a small adult size, but mature nonetheless. So I'm very hopeful for this pair for this coming year, and I think the babies could be just absolutely stunning. So another project I'm really excited about getting another shot at this year are the Kankakee bull snakes. This is my adult male right here. I did produce a few of them last year, although the clutches were not very good, really low fertility rates. The babies ended up being absolutely gorgeous, but there weren't very many of them. But this year with my female that I kept being, older, larger, and, hopefully I fixed some of the mistakes that I made last year, I'm expecting a better clutch, hopefully so. And the babies from these 2 parents in particular were just absolutely gorgeous. Of course, as this locality is known for, that super dark coloration, the really cool high contrast with that yellow, and then a little bit of red coming in on the sides as well. You can really catch that in the right lighting, especially right now. To me, it's pretty apparent. And, it's really cool to have not only some morph bull snakes going, but also some wild types as well. I really do like both. One thing that is really cool about the bull snakes is that there are a lot of cool color variations, but then also a lot of cool natural variations as well. Another project that I'm really anticipating, and I'll definitely miss these guys while they're down for brumation over the winter. All right, so now to round out the Pituophis portion of the video, we have this girl right here. This is my female Baja Cape gopher snake, or Pituophis vertebralis. And I believe this is actually the first time I've shown this girl here on the channel. I got her and her mate earlier this year, kind of had them in quarantine for a while. And they are just absolutely gorgeous. This is definitely one of the most naturally beautiful of the Pituophis. Geographically speaking, they are relatively close to the Mexican pine snakes, so definitely some resemblance there. This girl is just absolutely gorgeous with that really cool neck stripe, these really bold red and orange colorations, and then kind of that cool fading down into the dark tail. These are a great Pituophis for anybody who doesn't want to quite take on the size of a northern pine snake or a bull snake, but still wants to experience that same kind of snake. They have a lot of very similar behaviors to the rest of the genus, and in a smaller size. So this is a small adult right here. The male's a good bit bigger than her, and she will inevitably get bigger with some time, but definitely gives a good perspective. Nowhere near the size of an adult bull or northern pine snake, and just absolutely gorgeous. All right, now, so moving on to the Spilotes, I have this girl right here. This is a first-time female for me. This is my female 50% Tamulipas, 50% Honduras, produced by Jason Hood. I've raised her up from a baby. She's about 5 years old now, so she's just coming to that age where she's ready to go. As you can see, she's really coming into more of an adult form. They're very long, lanky snakes, but by the time Spilotes reach adulthood, they kind of fill out a little bit more proportionately, and to the point where they can, really safely and healthily house eggs in the back third of their body for that development, have some additional body fat so that they can support that whole process of follicular development, ovulation, and gravidity. And this girl is just absolutely gorgeous. She's maintained a lot of those really cool kind of orange tones mid-body. Obviously, as most Spilotes do, they fade a little bit with age when it comes to some of those orange tones, but still this girl is just absolutely stunning. So really the only new female that I have to breed this year Spilotes wise, but I couldn't be happier that this is the one. And I think her babies would be just absolutely gorgeous. So some of you may recognize this girl from previous videos. This is my female Yucatan tiger rat snake, and she did produce for me this year in 2025, and I'm really excited to hopefully get another clutch from her next year. I'd really love this look that she has. It's kind of like off yellow ivory kind of coloration that really takes up a majority of her body. The Yucatan locality is known for kind of having this phenotype. But what I was really surprised by in her offspring was that some of them had some really cool kind of highlighter yellow, almost to orange colorations throughout the body, which I was not anticipating at all. And even some of that coloration appearing on the head as well. So, raising up those babies that I kept back has been very fun to kind of see how that progresses. And now that I'm expecting that, it'll be cool to kind of see how many of the babies from the clutch come out with that phenotype. There were a few that did look kind of like her and like the dad, where they just had this, cream coloration throughout the whole body, which is a look that I really, really like as well. I always like when in one clutch I can get offspring that have multiple different phenotypes to them. Just makes it a lot more fun. So definitely one that I'm super excited about getting to pair up again, and hopefully come summertime, there'll be more Yucatan babies on the ground. So now here's my male Veracruz tiger rat snake. This is another pair that will be repeating hopefully again next year. They actually bred for me in the fall of 2024. So the clutch hatched in January of this year. And that was the first clutch of Spilotes that I have ever hatched out, which I was really, really happy about. I have been working with this genus for quite a while now and had been attempting breeding for a good portion of that time. But really last year was the year that I finally had the enclosures right, everything set up to where breeding would have been advantageous. They cycled totally off season, which completely threw me for a loop, but I wasn't going to complain at all. They did not cycle that same time this year, which honestly I was kind of happy about, so that they could get back on a normal schedule where they're primarily breeding in the winter time. Eggs are coming early spring, babies coming early summer. And like the Yucatans, I was a little bit surprised with the results of the clutch, to where the babies had a lot of really cool red and orange coloration on them. The pair that I held back that are approaching yearlings now still have a lot of that coloration showing. And, there's a little bit coming through on this guy. The female really doesn't have any whatsoever. But really, because of that alone, I wasn't particularly expecting the babies to have that kind of coloration. So obviously, like with the Yucatans, now that I know what to expect, I'm definitely excited for more babies that look like that, and potentially even better than I got the first go around. But this guy is absolutely amazing. He's a beast of a snake, all of about 8 feet long, as you can tell. Super chill demeanor. And that really is the case with a lot of the Spilotes. They're very, very cage defensive snakes. But as soon as they are outside of their enclosure and kind of calm down a little bit, they all act just like this. Very curious. As soon as they have that tail anchor on you, their nerves calm quite a bit, and eventually they get to the point where they're acting just like this guy, kind of lightly cruising around, kind of curious, calm, looking at everything, and just really a very enjoyable animal to experience. So after a couple of years of not succeeding with this pair, I'm really hopeful for this coming season. These are my Guyana locality, Spilotes pilatus. This actually right here is my first Spilotes that I ever acquired. I got him in 2017, so I've been working with this genus for quite a while now. They really have been about my favorite Colubrid since pretty much right as I got this guy. I was always really fascinated by Spilotes. I always thought they were super beautiful, had really interesting behaviors, and from keeping them right away, I knew I was hooked. This guy's kind of faded over time. It's actually kind of interesting. He was really yellow when he was younger, and he's faded into almost being completely white, kind of that stark black and white contrast there in the color. The female has done something kind of similar. She still has a little bit of yellow coloration, but the last 2 years she has slugged out. I'm pretty sure, though, it was a result of her not having quite enough body weight. So I made a big effort over the summer to really put some extra size on her in order to get her ready to go for breeding season. And I'm really hopeful that next year is finally the year I can get some babies from these guys. All right, last but most certainly not least, these guys, my Spilotes sulphureus, or Amazon puffing snakes. So this will somewhat be my first time being able to truly attempt breeding them. Unfortunately, I found out mid-breeding season last year that my pair that I've been raising up for 4 years turned out to in fact be 2 females, which was pretty disappointing, but I guess is better than it having turned out to be 2 males. I did end up getting a male on loan from a friend, but unfortunately it was a bit too late in the season by the time he came around, and the females had already started to reabsorb their follicles. So, learned a good lesson there, even though a hard one nonetheless of, if you're ever questioning how a snake was sold to you and the sex, can never hurt to double check it before it's a little bit too late. But now they have a little bit more age on them. They're full 5 years old now, so they can definitely reproduce at 4 years, but they'll certainly do it better at 5 years. And I'm really, really hopeful to produce them in 2026. This is one of the most amazing colubrid species in the world, potentially the largest colubrid species in the world, with records getting over 12 feet long and pretty significantly healthy bodied as well. So they're amazing. Their coloration is just beautiful. And their head structure is really different than the rest of the Spilotes genus, which I find very interesting. They were reclassified a while back. These were the genus Sustes, which also encompassed the neotropical bird snakes. And they were split up to where the sulphureus went into Spilotes, and then the neotropical bird snakes became their own genus, Phrynonax. So definitely a lot to keep track of. But these snakes nonetheless are just absolutely fascinating, and I really, really hope to get a clutch or even 2 next year. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning into that video. If you liked it, please subscribe here on the YouTube channel. Like, comment, share, do all that good stuff. Hit the notification bell. I do drop a new video every single Friday. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Instagram at Scrub Shepherd, Stephen Cush on Facebook. I'm also on Morph Market under Cush Reptile. There you can find some of my available animals. I also host a podcast every single Wednesday night on the Trap Talk Reptile Network called Cush's Corner. All of the links to all of that is down in the description. Again, thank you guys for checking out the video, and I'll catch you all back here next week for a new one.